We're all kind of raised on this simple promise, right? The whole cause and effect thing. Do good, and good things will happen to you. Work your tail off, and you'll succeed. It feels like it should be a fundamental law of the universe. But if that's really true, why is it that you can pour your heart and soul into something, give it absolutely everything you've got, only to watch it fall short? And why can you act with the best intentions, be a genuinely good person, and end up facing hurt or just complete indifference? It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What if that neat, tidy, linear chain of cause and effect we were all promised is actually broken? Well, today, we're going to investigate. So let's call this what it is, the causality trap. How do we get so caught up in it? And, the million-dollar question is, how do we get out? We're going to explore why our traditional understanding of cause and effect might actually be holding us back, and how a totally new perspective could set us free. All right, so to bust out of this trap, first, we have to find the weak spots, the cracks in that simple A leads to B chain. And it turns out this isn't some new idea. Philosophers started poking holes in this thing centuries ago. The philosopher David Hume, he came up with this brilliant challenge. He said, look, we see a rooster crow, and then we see the sunrise. But we all know the rooster isn't making the sunrise, right? They just happen one after the other, in sequence. So his big question was, when we strike a match and see a flame, are we really seeing causation, or are we just seeing another sequence of events? Hume argued that we never actually see the causal link itself. So Hume's whole point is that our brains are basically pattern-matching machines. We see two things happen in a row enough times, and bam! Our mind just connects the dots and creates a rule. It becomes a mental habit, and we end up mistaking that little shortcut for some kind of fundamental law of the universe. But Hume's argument is just the first crack in the chain. Let's go back to our trusty matchstick. We strike it, it lights. A causes B. Seems simple, but what if the match is wet? You strike it and nothing. That one simple exception, that single wet match, it completely shatters the whole idea of an iron law of causality. Because think about it, if a single exception exists, then A causes B isn't a law. It's just a probability. Striking a dry match doesn't guarantee a flame, it just dramatically increases the chances of a flame. And this is a huge shift in thinking, right? We're moving from a world of certainties to a world of possibilities. And this is where things get really, really interesting, because while philosophy was poking holes in causality, science was getting ready to completely rewrite the rules. In fact, science left that simple, chain-like idea of causality in the dust a long, long time ago. For a while, physics made the universe look like this giant clockwork machine, totally predictable, right? Newton's whole deal. But then, scientists discovered that the world isn't really about little objects pushing each other around. It's more about these continuous fields of energy. And then, bam, quantum physics comes along and shows us that at the most fundamental level, the universe is all about probability, not certainty. The old view saw the universe like a giant game of pool. One billiard ball hitting another. Simple pushes and pulls. But the modern view sees it as a responsive field, an ocean of energy. Events aren't caused by a single push, they're expressions of the entire system changing its state, all governed by probability and these much deeper laws of conservation. At the quantum level, things get even stranger. An atom can change its state without any apparent cause at all. And get this, the very act of observing something can change it. But even in this seeming chaos, there's this profound order. There are unbreakable laws, like the law of conservation of energy, which basically says energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed. The total amount always stays the same. So, what does all this mean for us? It means that cause and effect isn't a simple chain. It's more like a continuous, flowing system, a web where everything is interconnected. So how does this apply to our own lives? Well, when something major happens, like getting sick, we tend to look for that one single cause. But what if there isn't one? What if illness isn't caused by a single thing, but is the result of our entire system becoming unbalanced? I mean, just look at this powerful example of depression. We might say a breakup caused it, but that's just the first domino. The event triggers this whole cascade. The nervous system goes into overdrive, stress hormones spike, behavior changes, and soon the entire biological system, from your immunity to your metabolism, begins to falter. The depression isn't the result of the event. It's the result of the system's collapse. It's the same with a heart attack. We blame stress,
But that's just one thread in a much larger web. It's the combination of genetics, diet, sleep, inflammation, and psychology all coming together that leads to a systemic energy failure. The cause isn't a single thread breaking. It's the whole web losing its integrity.
So here's a really cool way to think about causality, on 3 levels. On the surface, at the event level, things seem random and unpredictable, like fireworks. But beneath that, at the statistical level, we see these stable patterns and trends, like the predictable flow of a river. And holding it all together, at the conservation level, are the unbreakable systemic laws, like the riverbed that guides the flow. So what's the big takeaway here? If causality is a system, a web, then you're not just a victim of circumstance. You're not a prisoner of the chain. You are an active participant. You are a weaver of the web of your own life. And this all comes down to changing the question we ask. The old question, what caused this? Or why didn't my hard work cause success? That just leads to blame and helplessness. But we can ask a new, more powerful question. How did this system I'm a part of create this outcome? This question opens the door to understanding, participation, and real influence. This reframes everything. It means your life isn't a pre-written script that you are forced to act out. It's a work that you are actively co-writing, moment by moment, choice by choice. You are a co-creator of your own causality. So the next time life throws you a curveball, the next time it feels like your hard work has gone nowhere or your kindness has been ignored, try asking a different question. Instead of getting trapped by asking, what caused this? Ask, how can I participate in creating a different outcome? The answer might just change everything.